It's 14 minutes past 1. Nikki Bedi on the BBC Asian Network. Welcome along to the show if you just joined us. Known for merging his graffiti style with Islamic art, Birmingham-based artist Mohammed Ali's work has made its way onto streets from Melbourne to New York. He's built himself quite an international reputation in the last few years for his unique fusion style. It's been described as building bridges between communities. And now he's won the Arts Council's Diversity Award. It's all part of the South Bank Show Awards, which in fact you can watch on television tomorrow night. And these awards, incidentally, reward British talent and achievement across the arts. So in fields like classical music, comedy, literature, film, dance, and of course the visual arts. And Mohammed Ali joins me in the studio. How are you? Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you. Big congratulations. Is it something that you knew that you were up for? Did you know you were in contention? How does it work? How does the award work?
Well, I'm informed by ITV themselves that you've been nominated for the award, and they give me a list of all the nominees. And then that's it, really. I just have to wait for the big day and, you know, see if I win or not. So I don't know up until, obviously, the last minute when they announce it on stage.
The Arts Council Diversity Award celebrates outstanding achievement by a diverse artist or organisation that promotes diverse groups and cultures in any category of the arts. So, I mean, you could have been up against theatre directors, writers.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, congratulations. Now, we get to see you on television tomorrow night collecting your award. Are these awards, the South Bank Show Awards, something you've ever paid attention to before? Were you aware of them?
Yeah, I was aware of it. I wasn't a great fan of the South Bank show itself.
Why?
You know?
Why? Poor Melvin Bragg.
No, but I think I've changed now. I mean, he's a top
He
bloke.
is
When
incredible.
I met him in the evening.
When you accepted the award, what did you say to people watching? What are we going to see you say tomorrow night?
Well, you know, this is the interesting thing. What it is I have no doubt they'll edit it down. I spoke for nearly a minute and a half.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Did you have music going?
Yeah, they do all that. And
but then were they trying to get you off like they do at the Oscars with playing music to get you off the stage?
No, they didn't.
Well, I'm sure they won't edit them.
Yeah, I think, you know, I mean, the speech that I gave, although most of the speeches were about, you know, thanks to this person and that person, which of course I did, but really I kind of spoke more so about, you know, I dedicated my award to really people who are suffering, perhaps the unheard voices, the people who are suffering injustice and oppression, and I specifically referred to the children of Gaza. So, I mean, I had some of the celebrities coming to me afterwards. It was amazing, you know, people like Tracy Emin, she was one of the first who came to me and said, you know, that was brilliant, I'm so glad, and people were just, you know, found it refreshing that I'd spoken about what's going on in the world today, as opposed to just say, you know, just a kind of a standard talk type of thing. But
do you get this award for a body of work that you've gone through in the year, or is it like you know, your lifetime so far?
I think it's just a general thing for everything over the past, perhaps maybe 5 or 6 years I've been doing this more so. I think, you know, they kind of, all of that collectively for what I've been doing and the travelling and the different projects I've done around the world, I think it was a general thing.
So for people who, I did try and explain this a little bit earlier, in fact, for people who've never seen any of your work, I mean, first of all, they can Google you and they can actually go onto your website, which is
aerosolarabic.com.
aerosolarabic.com. What a great website name, because, I mean, your work does involve graffiti. We've spoken about this before. So, but it also involves taking the characters that you would write in Arabic script at times.
That's right.
You explain. I shouldn't be explaining this.
Well, basically, I think when I discovered the kind of the elegance and the beauty of the Arabic script, found in the Quran, me already having an obsession with words, being a graffiti artist, before I was inspired by faith, because, you know, in my upbringing I was far from mindful of the faith, you know, it was...
Yes, really, you've spoken about that.
Yeah, I'm sure, I mentioned. But,
you've redeemed yourself.
Yeah. When I rediscovered my, kind of this creative heritage that exists in the Islamic civilization, it's amazing, something that many are perhaps even oblivious to, that there is so much creativity in the form of the calligraphy and the architecture, etc. When I discovered the script, and already as a graffiti artist, I was always playing with words, the word of man. I would always draw a parallel that graffiti being the word of man, and when we look at Islamic art, it was also the words that Muslims believe is the word of God. So bringing those together, the word of man, a kind of a selfish, kind of individualistic expression, and here we have almost the opposite, the words that kind of decorate the words of God, and bringing those together was really something quite powerful and explosive, you know.
In the last, I suppose, well, certainly decade in the UK, graffiti art, thanks to people like Banksy, thanks to the Tate for their big street art exhibition last year, it's become more acceptable as an art form rather than as a... Do you know what I mean? I mean to people who haven't been part of this world. To have the whole of the outside of the Tate covered in street art. To actually have a street art tour that went around that area of London where people had tagged, they'd painted, they'd done whatever. It suddenly made people see... this is art, rather than, hang on a minute, this is vandalism. I mean, you must face that sometimes, even today.
You know, this is an important point. I think we've got a long way to go, because I'm glad you haven't asked me that question, raised this whole, is it art or vandalism, because...
Oh, no, I think it's art.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
for sure.
To be honest with you, when I'm asked this question, it's getting a bit tedious for decades now. This same debate, you know, in the media and whatnot, is it art or vandalism? Now, I'll tell you, the reason I say we've got a long way to go is I've just returned from Australia for a month. I was invited by the City of Melbourne to do a mural over there. And it's amazing how their mindset towards graffiti blows us away. Because over there, let me give you the example. I witnessed this with my own eyes. I saw a newlywed couple's white wedding dress and Rolls Royce driving down an alleyway. The couple get out the car and having their official wedding photos done in front of graffiti.
How fantastic.
And that wasn't a one-off. The friend who was with me, Australian friend, he goes, yeah, this is common.
Are these all, have you taken photos of this on Flickr? Are those on your Flickr?
I've got the pictures to prove it, yeah.
I had a little look last night at some of the work that you've been doing. You've been travelling an awful lot and painting murals, not just in Australia. Where else have you been?
I've been fortunate to travel to places like New York and, you know, Melbourne, Toronto, places like Sydney as well, you know, when I was over there. And even in Bangladesh, I was invited to paint over there as well. So I've kind of have great joy, and I'm fortunate to see how different communities are living, you know, and unfortunately you see similar issues in a lot of these kind of diverse communities where perhaps, you know, a lot of ethnic minorities who perhaps, you know, maybe don't get the opportunities. I kind of see the same issues, racism and ignorance, and, you know, people of different faith kind of segregated. So I'm seeing these same issues, and I always say, wherever I painted these murals alongside those very communities with those young people involved, I say those politicians who are still trying to figure out the answers to some of the issues we have in society, they need to come and stand with me on the corner and see how, when I'm painting, I'm dealing with these issues, how the community comes together, people of all faith. You just need to come and witness it, and you say, wow, art does bring the people together.
Now, presumably, and this is an assumption, when you do a mural, say, in Australia or in New York, you are not necessarily using your calligraphy in Arabic. You would...
Yeah, not always. It always depends.
Well, because the message wouldn't get across as well, would it?
Of course.
Yeah.
Whenever I visit, I spend a good amount of time getting a feel for the city and the issues and the people. So I want to be speaking to these people. So no doubt about it, I kind of get a feel for the place, and then I think, how can I communicate with these people?
But then when you say these people, are you communicating to your Muslim brothers and sisters?
Not at all. Far
or
from
to
it.
everybody?
Far from it. When I went to Australia, I switch on the television and I hear about the drought that exists. So then I thought, okay, well, I want to paint a mural about how we shouldn't be extravagant when it comes to wasting water. And lo and behold, I find a saying of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, where he speaks about, do not be extravagant with water, even if you're in front of a large flowing river. So I put that on the wall in English. Yeah, and then we had a slogan which encourages people to be mindful and not be wasteful, etc. And this is a message that communicates to all, regardless of colour, culture, or faith, or creed.
How old is your little daughter?
She's 2 years old now.
So she recognises Daddy's a painter and an artist, does she?
She does, yeah.
Does she think she can draw on the walls? That was going to be my question.
She's already scribbling away. She's already scribbling away in the house, you know.
Is she?
Yeah, she is.
And has she got a particular style, do you think?
Style's emerging, certainly, yes, I think so.
Well, that's good.
I might have to sell some of her drawings someday and say, you know,
well,
put it up
you can be her agent, can't you?
Why not?
That's a very lucrative market, Mohammed, isn't it? And you don't make money out of your children, surely. So for more information about your work and your art, people can log on to allthews.aerosolarabic.com, and you can watch Mohammed collecting his award and giving his speech as part of the South Bank Show Awards on ITV tomorrow at 10:35. You must come in again, actually, and spend more time with us. But in the meantime, huge congratulations and thank you so much for coming in. Thanks, Mohammed.
Thanks.